countries, from different cultures, from different experiences. As I start, can I acknowledge people who have been gathering in this place from different nations for thousands and thousands of years, and especially those people who have been caring for this land, building community since time immemorial. I pay my respects to the traditional owners, to their elders past, present and emerging, and also commit myself to ongoing personal acts of reconciliation with our nation's First Peoples as well. To our many special guests today, to the members of the diplomatic community, to David Smith, to Brendan Smith, to Michael Moore, to Eric Carmody, to Louise Orban, to Tim Weeks, guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a privilege over the last few years to be here on a number of occasions, and today to have the privilege of representing the Chief Minister of the ACT is a special time. It's a real privilege to be able to announce the fourth recipient of the Chief Minister's Rotary Peace Prize. The Chief Minister's Rotary Peace Prize recognises individuals and groups who have contributed to a more peaceful Canberra community. And I'm delighted to announce that this year's recipient is Mr. David Savage. Can we congratulate David? David, would you like to come forward and join me while I embarrass you a little bit further by speaking of some of your backgrounds most recently? It is a great chance to be able to highlight David's significant service. In mid-1999, David was part of a small United Nations mission in East Timor, or UNIMET. They were sent to East Timor to facilitate voting process and also to advise the Indonesian police on security amidst growing violence. It was the bravery, it was the resilience of the East Timorese people, supported by that small UNIMET mission, which ensured that the voting could occur. But the ballot result led to Indonesian military unleashing a well-planned campaign of violence through East Timor, which could only be addressed by an international military force. UNIMET was unarmed and without any military or armed response or support. Later, David wrote in his book, Dancing with the Devil, a personal account of policing the East Timor vote for independence as an Australian Federal Police officer. Answered by Fire is a two-part television film that's based on David's book and deals with the 1999 East Timor conflicts. David later served in Afghanistan as part of a mixed civilian and military unit called a Provincial Reconstruction Team, or PRT, that was assigned to the Chora Valley to help rebuild infrastructure. In 2012, David was seriously wounded, losing a leg and almost killed by a 12-year-old suicide bomber on March the 26th. At that time, David, aged 49, was the first AusAid staff member wounded while serving in Afghanistan, and he's believed to be the first serious Australian civilian casualty. The PRT was returning from a visit to the district governor when about 100 metres from home, a 12-year-old boy calmly walked into the patrol. An explosive device strapped to his torso was then detonated, sending David and two US soldiers metres across the road and leaving a 12-metre high plume of smoke. Since 2012, David has battled with his injuries. But at least as importantly, and probably more so, he has battled for peace and has been an active voice for peace here and beyond. It was my privilege first to meet David a few years back through our joint involvement in the Australian of the Year Awards. And we recognise David today for his efforts in East Timor and in Afghanistan, and for his dedication to the cause of peace across the world. A donation of $1,000 has been made in David's name to the Rotary International Foundation. The foundation is the major international, and this year the donation has been directed to the annual fund, peace building and conflict resolution. Today, in addition to being named this year's Chief Minister's Rotary Peace Prize recipient, David is also recognised as a Paul Harris Fellow by Rotary International and by the Rotary Club of Canberra Burley Griffin. David has inspired and continues to inspire all who know him. Can you please join me in congratulating David as I present him his award, and then we'll invite him to say a few words in acknowledging the honour.
I should start back in 1994. I went on my first peacekeeping mission to Mozambique after 19 years of civil war, and that experience changed my life, and I saw the suffering that people endure as a result of conflict firsthand, and something that just watching through the media can never make you understand until you're actually there and see what happens to people during conflict. And from then on, I slowly changed my career, I guess, and going to East Timor in '99 really was the just seeing people who turned up to risk their lives to cast their vote just to have their own say in their future, and the enormous threats and atrocities that were carried out upon them for doing what we do every 3 or 4 years here in Australia to cast our votes. I just could never ever get past the bravery, the tenacity, and just the incredible will of the Timorese people. One of the things that my colleagues and I were saying as we were locked in the compound in Dili in '99 was, we're foreigners here. We can leave. And you know, planes were coming to get us. Yet the Timorese people were stuck there. They were the ones that did the suffering, and they were the ones that were brave. It wasn't us foreigners. We were there to assist them. It was the Timorese people themselves that showed the bravery. And it's exactly the same when I was in Afghanistan and saw what the Afghan people were enduring day in, day out. The bravery that they went, just wanting to live a peaceful life. Just, I guess, being a family or a parents, not knowing, putting your children to bed at night, not knowing whether in the morning, as Tim said, is going to be the last day of their lives, is something that I'll never ever forget. And one of the things after being wounded in Afghanistan is that I've never had any hate against the child, obviously, who didn't choose to do that, who would have been, you know, brainwashed or tricked or whatever. And you know, I often, daily, I think about that poor child and hope that him losing his life and the connection somehow that we have, that I can continue to work to have peace in Afghanistan and hopefully in other parts of the world. And you know, we all do as Tim said, we all do our little bit. We might be able to achieve that aspiration. We don't have time, and we don't have the fortune to hope someone else is going to do it. We have to do it and put our hands up and make a change in the world. I won't take any more of your time, but I feel incredibly privileged, and thank you all so very, very much.